When I had a conversation with my boss with the Padres, he mentioned to me that the Phillies expressed interest in interviewing me for the AAA job. And being with one organization, coaching wise, and for the majority of my career, I talked to my wife and said I would kind of be foolish not to at least take the interview and just see what that's like and where that could lead. I'm one to trust my heart and gut a lot of times with what I'm feeling and who I'm talking to and things like that. And, the way that Preston was laying out his vision with the Phillies, and then obviously going through the interview process and talking to the front office and seeing the way their vision is and the direction that they're going, put a good taste in my mouth.
This is the first time you'll manage at AAA, and certainly from a player standpoint, it's a big difference in dynamics in the way they're wired and the experience they have. What type of adjustments do you think you'll have to make?
That's probably the most uncertainty that I have about this job right now. But I'll tell you this, I think being able to coach the fall league and manage the fall league with that type of caliber player and, guys that have been in AAA or even the big leagues, gave me a little bit of comfort seeing the way they go about their business. But I also have to, lean on my experiences with when I played in AAA, and those moments, and got to see how, my buddies, myself handled situations and kind of revert back to those and see how those were dealt with, and ultimately, I go into this year as a first time AAA manager, knowing that, I'm not going to sit here and try to change the world at AAA. What I'm going to try to do is be a partner and help these guys facilitate their careers as much as possible. And, when they go up to Philadelphia, that they're as ready as can be. And if they come back down from Philadelphia, you jump back in as a professional to get back up there as quick as you can. And that's my ultimate job with this new gig.
I know you have no idea what your team will look like in April, but every manager has a philosophy on how they like to run the game. What's yours?
Honestly, the team that I have will dictate the philosophy that I will bring to that season. I don't know these players very well yet. I have a grasp on some of them, but I don't even know if those guys will be with me at the AAA level. Or where they'll be in general. And I think spring training is going to, weigh a lot on that. I'm going to have to, do my homework, watch a lot of video, just kind of see what skill sets the guys that I will have bring to the table. And that will honestly dictate, the philosophy and how I manage a game.
You mentioned your staff, and it's all brand new in Lehigh Valley this year, but the guys around you have some experience at Coca-Cola Park. What are your thoughts on the guys that will be with you this year?
I have a history with my staff, and it gives me a lot of comfort knowing that I'm going to be in the dugout with people that, one, I've already met, two, I have relationships with already, and prior teammates. I've played with both Cesar Ramos and Joe Thurston, who are going to be our pitching and hitting coach. So that gives me, a lot of comfort. I coached with Joe in the fall league. And then obviously 8 years before that, I played with him in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, when I finished my career. So I'm excited, and then we have our fourth coach is Greg Brzezinski Bull, who has been with the Phillies forever. Extraordinary human being, obviously I would take it that you guys are familiar with him, and just to get to see that side, a guy that's been with the Phillies, and to hear his take and to watch him work, it gets me excited knowing that my staff is as well-rounded as any staff in the industry.
You mentioned watching some video and doing your homework. Not only is it a new organization, but you've never even coached against Phillies teams or managed against Phillies teams. So how much catch-up work do you have to do?
I utilize the True Media and the other resources we have to watch player video. And obviously, with Preston and I having a relationship, he gives me as much insight as he can about the guys that he's doing research on as well, and then we're always making calls, text messaging a lot of the players, just getting to know them as best we can before, we dive into the grind and get going with this season. But to answer your question, it's a lot of research. I'm going to lean on spring training a lot, this mini camp that I'm about to enter, to kind of sit back, see how everybody's playing, see what the philosophy and vibe is like with the Phillies organization. And, I'll adapt pretty quickly as we get into it with everybody.
What is your mix, your balance between analytics and quote unquote old school baseball?
Yeah, I think my age, so I'm 38 years old, played more in the old school, traditional, you would say. I know a lot of people are trying to get away from even just saying those words. It's just the way it was back then. It's the way it is now. That's how I kind of take it. And, you find, the good in all the aspects of it. And I think being able to play in that version of baseball and then coaching now in, we'll call it the new school of baseball, has given me a lot of flexibility in balancing the two, and knowing that, the eye test, the gut instinct, what I see on the field, the hard work and grit, old school traditional way of baseball will never really leave the game. And now that with analytics is such a big part of it, what that does for me is either answer questions that I had. It allows me, it's another tool that allows me to coach the player in a better way and show them numbers compared to, other people in the industry. And it also helps me with my coaching decisions. I know there's so much stuff that is out there that, you can lean on to make decisions, and those just kind of reassure you that maybe your gut instinct was right, or it gives you a little bit of a question mark to help decide, down the road to make a better decision. So I see the flexibility in both of it, and I try to balance it as much as I can when I'm coaching.